So Sockface blew a pitch. He tried to pitch to the ring, but they were going to tape. And he said, and then they went to the tape. And it was a Darby. This is the first of the show, right? They're going to a pre-tape with Darby Allin, but it was good. He was talking about A.R. Fox. And remember A.R. Fox debuted for AEW about 6 months ago. I don't think he's ever won a match on television, and you hardly ever see him. But now they're finally getting around to telling us whether we ought to like him or not. So Darby puts A.R. Fox over. As far as Darby said when he left Seattle out of wrestling school and went to Atlanta to train, there was A.R. Fox, and A.R. Fox. A.R. Fox trained harder than everybody else, and they got to be friends. And then Darby said, so I was sleeping in my car in a parking garage. And apparently he was doing that for not for a night or two, but for weeks, like living in his car in a parking garage for a long period of time. And I believe him. And I'm wondering, has this guy ever heard of a fucking job? Why, just because you're going to wrestling school, does it necessitate you sleeping in your fucking car? I ran a wrestling school with 100 people going to it at one time, and only about 35 or 40 had WWF developmental contracts. But nobody was sleeping in their fucking car. They were waiting tables at Chili's. They had a part-time job somewhere. But nobody was sleeping in their car. Does he like sleeping in his car?
I think so.
Anyway, I digress. Basically, A.R. Fox asked Darby what he was doing, where he was staying, and Darby said, I'm just winging it, sleeping in my car. So A.R. Fox said, come and live with me for free. That's the kind of guy he was. And this was a well-done video. A.R. Fox, through Darby's words, came off as a great guy. And now he's going to wrestle. And you're thinking, okay, I'd like to see this great guy. What? He's wrestling the mascot. They did a video like that, all about real life, to make A.R. Fox look like a great fucking benevolent person. And then they put him against another babyface, and not only that, but the babyface is the company joke. And now they've built him up, and they book him to get beat by the phoniest guy in the company. So that was the start of the program. And 20 minutes into the show later, A.R. Fox, the wonderful person and hard worker, got beat clean by the company joke. And then sucker punched him and knocked him out. So they made him a fucking big baby face, gave him a 20-minute match against a fucking clown. The clown beat him, and then they switched him heel. But then when he switched heel, he was reacting like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I might have fucked up. And then Darby comes out and chews him out and argues with him. And the guy that just switched heel apologized for switching heel and walked off. And just then I wrote, I don't think he switched heel because everybody wants to sucker punch this fucking little idiot. And as soon as I wrote that, Moxley hit the ring and sucker punched the idiot again. He knocked him out and gave him the double arm suplex deal on his head and walked out. And as Moxley was walking out, Pockets is laying motionless in the middle of the ring, and Sockface's pitches with this guy dead after having been turned on by his best friend and one of the top guys in the company, switching gears 1 week ago on Dynamite, and they pitched the blood and guts package. What the fuck was going on here?
I don't know. I apologize for noise in the background right now. There's stuff going on outside, but I wasn't into this match. I'm not into Orange Cassidy. I've said it many times. Good video. One thing AR Fox does. AR Fox does.
It's AR Fox to you.
One thing that he does that I hate more than anything, they're in the middle of the ring going back and forth, and he's throwing these kicks at him that would look good if his hands weren't right in front of his face doing a clap every time. He's not hitting his thigh. He's not hiding it. It's in front of his face. And he's clapping like that. That took me completely out of it.
So you actually watched the match?
I did. I wanted to give AR Fox a chance.
Well, why? The booker didn't.
Well, that's true. But then the post-match stuff. Again, the Darby AR Fox stuff is more interesting than anything else here. But then Moxley just out of nowhere. As soon as that happened, I was like, this is going to be a really bad episode of this show.
Well,
this is the worst way to start.
I don't know whether we're going to see too much more interaction between Moxley and Pockets, because Moxley is pissed by the end of the program. Did you catch that, or was I the only one?
Maybe you're the only one. We'll see what we.
Well, for the people with this episode on DVR, when I get there, I will point it out to you. I think Moxley had enough of Pockets first night. Anyway, so that was over 20 minutes of the program. They made a guy a babyface. They introduced a brand new friendship that we didn't know existed. They beat the fucking guy in a match on television with the most unimpressive, unintimidating person on the roster. And then he apologized for turning heel.